Everybody, welcome to another episode of Raising the Next Generation. I'm Jennifer. I am a psychologist and I am a writer and I am the host of this show. And I am welcoming you as we wait for Marylin to join us to talk about self-awareness. Today, that's the topic of discussion, and Marylin is going to be walking us through that topic and helping us understand what exactly is self-awareness and how do you gain it? How do you maintain it? Self-esteem, self-awareness. You can put all those questions together under one roof in the comment section, and you're going to be addressing them. Hi, Marylin.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Can you hear me? Can you see me clearly?
Yeah, sure. I can see you. I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Karibu sana to another episode of Raising the Next Generation, where we talk about how we can apply child psychology principles into raising responsible kids. And in today's episode, as I've said, we are going to be talking about self-awareness. And of course, that ties up with many other aspects of being a human being: self-esteem, self-confidence, knowing yourself and knowing other people. It helps a lot to understand who you are and where you come from and where you're going. So self-awareness is a topic of discussion. If you have any questions, I highly recommend that you put them in the comment section so that we can check them out and we'll respond to them before we end the live. Marylin, karibu sana. Salimia watu and tell them how you're doing today, how your weekend has been. It's a Sunday. How is everything going on your end?
Thank you. Thank you so much. And hi, everyone. I'm excited this afternoon. It's been a beautiful day, very sunny after very many days of cold.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy. I'm enjoying myself this Sunday afternoon, and I was looking forward to interact with you people in our live session this afternoon.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Here as well to learn a few things from our audience. If they have any questions, they can keep them coming so that we can have an interactive session. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So just so that we can get started with this and we can take as minimal time as possible, considering it's a Sunday and everybody has something that they're doing. Introduce us to self-awareness. Tell us about self-awareness. What is it? What is the definition, the one that you can work with? And how do you know when you have self-awareness?
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. Self-awareness is a very key skill, and you hear people talk about life skills, yeah? And there are so many life skills out there, but one thing that I tell our audience is that you cannot say that you know self-awareness when you are not self-aware. You cannot say that you know life skills when you are not sure of your self-awareness level, because this is the basic life skill that all the other life skills build on, be it self-esteem, be it stress management, anger management, name it, another life skill out there. You will always learn it as a build-up on self-awareness. So self-awareness is a very key life skill and is the first life skill that anyone out there should know. And when we say self-awareness, as it is, just the word itself, it is self and awareness. When it says self, it refers to you, yourself. And awareness is the know-how, getting to understand yourself. So in a nutshell, I would say self-awareness is the awareness that you exist as an individual being. In Kiswahili, we say kujijua ama kujielewa, It involves understanding yourself. How? In terms of your thoughts, your feelings, your abilities, your habits, your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, your beliefs, your position in life and in society. So that is what we call self-awareness, when you understand yourself in all those aspects of life. Yes.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I like the different dimensions that you've brought in. Understanding your values, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses. That's quite interesting. I'm very curious about how do people ordinarily develop self-awareness? Because I think everybody can say they want to become self-aware, but they don't know what are the steps that they need to take. Like what exactly does the work of becoming self-aware look like? So maybe you can give us a few frameworks that you can use to learn how to become more self-aware.
Yeah, that's a very key question, Jennifer. And it's good for our discussion this evening, because we want to know, now that we know what is self-awareness, we have heard it several times over and over again. Now, how can someone develop this critical life skill that we have said is the first life skill that you should learn as a person. And so for you to develop self-awareness, number one, you need to do something that we call self-evaluation. Yeah. So how do you evaluate yourself? Basically, there is one thing that you need to do. And these ones, we call them WH questions, all the questions that start with WH. These are the questions that will lead you to become self-aware and to explore your level of awareness. Yeah, for example, Jennifer, give me 2 questions. WH question.
What's and where?
Exactly. Our audience, if you can type it, WH questions, just short one, like who, why, when, what, where, when, whose, which, how. Any question that starts with WH directs you to self-awareness, because what you do when you ask yourself these WH questions, you do a self-evaluation. And the first question that we ask ourselves in regard to getting self-aware is, who am I? Yeah, who am I? And all those questions, they are questions. Remember, if it is a question, it means it has a question mark. Yeah. The answers to those questions, all those WH questions, when you answer them correctly, you should get an exclamation mark. How does it look like? Like this, down and a dot. Yeah. Now, what does that mean? It means when you ask yourself those questions, you have so many question marks in your mind. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? How am I going to get there? When do I want to achieve this? Which friend can I walk with, But when you answer those questions correctly, you get an answer that surprises you. And that's why we are saying the answer to the WH questions should give you an exclamation mark. Why? Because now you'll have become so self-aware and you realize, oh, all this time, kumbe, I didn't really understand who I am. I didn't even know what is the direction that I'm taking in life. What is it that I'm here on the face of the earth? Why do I exist in the first place? And once you answer those questions, you get some sense of direction because your level of awareness is awakened, yeah? And so we want to ask ourselves, when you say you evaluate yourself using the WH questions, what is it that you're trying to evaluate, yeah? Like we said in our definition, you evaluate your thoughts, you evaluate your emotions, you evaluate your actions, you evaluate your character, your values, your morals, your personal beliefs, your principles, your goals, your ambitions, your strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. So these are the things that you evaluate when you're trying to ask yourself the WH questions. And out of asking yourself those questions and trying to evaluate yourself in terms of those items that I've just mentioned, you will this will help you to realize that you are a unique person. Even if you have a twin sister, Jennifer, once you ask yourself those questions and you evaluate yourself honestly, you'll realize that I am unique as I am. And this uniqueness, that is a gift that the universe gave to you, because there is nobody else like you in the whole world. As much as people say, twins have everything the same, no, there is that uniqueness in each and every person. In fact, when you become self-aware and you know that you are unique, you realize that your job is not like your job is not to be like other people. In fact, your job is to be unlike them as possibly as you can be. Why? Because you want to be true to yourself. You want to be authentic to who you are after you become self-aware. And so your biggest job is to be you. Yeah, the best version of yourself. You don't want to copy paste anything else when you become self-aware, because you realize I am on this earth as an individual being, not because of my parents, not because of my siblings and their characters, moral standards, personal beliefs, strengths and weaknesses that I have, thoughts and emotions and actions that I have as a person. This gives you direction and that uniqueness. I remember the good book, I like quoting it, and there's somewhere in Romans 12, I think, it says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but being transformed by renewal of your mind. This, for me, it speaks a lot of self-awareness. Because if you are not self-aware, as that verse tells us, that's why you see people getting swayed this way and this way, because they're not self-aware. They don't even know who they are. Yeah. There's a story that I tell people about a boy who was called Ben. Every time he did something, the parents would tell Ben, don't do that, Ben, stop that, Ben, don't do that, Ben this, Ben that. So when he went to school, to the kindergarten, the teacher asked this boy, what is your name? The boy said, my name is no Ben. You know, because every time he hears no Ben, no Ben, no Ben, no Ben, that tells you the level of awareness. So sometimes you get to a point whereby you don't even know who you are. You don't even know why you exist. You don't even know the direction that you're taking in life. And this calls now for evaluating your self-awareness. Yeah. One framework, as you asked, Jennifer, that someone can use to evaluate self-awareness is Johari's Window. You know, Johari's Window is it's a framework of self-evaluation that was developed by two psychologists. One was called Harry, and the other one was called Joseph Laft. Yeah, Harrington and Joseph. So the name Johari is the two names for these two guys. Yeah, they came up with a sort of window. You know, just the way they call it a window. A window has 4 window panes. The first window pane is usually the open self. The second one is the blind self. And the third one is hidden self. And the fourth one is a non-self. When they talked about open self, they meant, but although this is a topic for another day altogether so that we can understand the Johari's window. But briefly, open self is information that you yourself, you know, yeah, and other people also know about you. So this is open because you know and other people know, yeah. And then the blind self, this is the information that you yourself, you don't know, but other people know these things about you. Like they might know a weakness about you, but you don't know. So these are blind spots. The third window, that is hidden self. This is information that you know, but others don't. For example, some secrets that you keep from your friend, from even your partner, from your best friend. These are things that you have hidden from other people. You know, but they don't know. And then now there is the fourth window pane, which is a non-self. This is total darkness. It is information about yourself that neither you or others know. But we will get to explore that in another whole session, yeah. But this is a framework that can help someone get to understand and evaluate your level of self-awareness, yeah. So there are two aspects of self-awareness when we talk about self-awareness. There is the aspect of identity and the aspect of self-concept. You remember, identity is the internal sense of individuality, the wholeness of consistency of self, yeah. And then there's the self-concept. Self-concept refers to the mental image that you carry about yourself, what you believe about yourself. That is the self-concept. These aspects will form another discussion for another day so that we can get deeper into that. And so, as we go on, we want to understand what is the importance of self-awareness, because we have said you need to evaluate your level of self-awareness, and you can use that framework that you have just mentioned. But the million-dollar question is why? You know, it's also a WH question. And why? You are telling us every seminar we go, self-awareness. You go to churches, self-awareness. You go where, self-awareness. So I am sure there's someone seated somewhere asking, and why? Why should I even bother to evaluate myself, to get to know all these things? So this is it. The importance of getting self-aware is, as you develop self-awareness, the awareness of self, you begin to connect with your own unique identity. Remember, tumesema, one of the aspects of self-awareness is identity and the other one is self-concept. Now, this is the only time that you can get to connect with your own unique identity. And remember, identity is given by your creator. God knows you by your name. You are his masterpiece. But how can you connect with that unique identity when you're not even self-aware? So that's one importance. Another importance that we can talk about today is it gives you the opportunity and freedom to change things that you can about yourself. Yeah. Why would you change? Because you want to create a self for yourself a life that you want. Yeah, you don't want just to exist in this life like I came, I was here, and I passed. Yeah, you want to live a life of substance, a life that people can emulate. Because we are passing this some information, some knowledge to the next generation. But what will the future self say about you? Yeah. Something else, another importance is it gives you, it will help you to improve your self-concept. Yeah. Just what we have said, that is one aspect of self-awareness. Another thing that getting to know yourself will help you is it will make you grounded. What do I mean when I say grounded? Remember we said you evaluate your value system. Yeah, your value system makes you grounded. There are things that you can't do just because other people are doing. There are places that you cannot go just because other people are visiting those places. Why? Because you are self-aware, and this self-awareness has grounded you in your value system, in your morals, in your personal principles. Peer pressure cannot just come and sway you. Things like fashion, especially when we are talking to our young people, the teenagers, yeah? They want to do things in the name of fashion because this is in fashion. I have to wear this because other people are wearing. This is the trading issue. People are piercing, I don't know where. I have to do it because other people are doing it. A teenager who is self-aware, that boy or girl, you'll realize they are very principled. Why? Because they are grounded in their value system. They are like, okay, these things are happening, but because I know myself, I can't do it just because other people are doing it. Another importance that getting self-aware will help you is that it will help you to develop your interpersonal and intrapersonal skills. Yeah. Remember, interpersonal is how you relate with other people, between you, how you transact business between you and yourself, how you relate with others. Intrapersonal skills is about how you relate with yourself. This is very key because people think interaction is just about me and you, me and others, but there are interactions that you need and to relate with yourself. Yeah, you need to understand yourself and understand others better as well. And what will happen by the end of the day, once you gain those interpersonal and intrapersonal skills, you will have better relationships. Another importance of self-awareness, it increases productivity and efficiency in whatever you do, whether you are a teenager in school, whether you are an adult who is working. When you are self-aware, you become someone who is focused because you have a sense of direction. You understand who you are, where you are, why, what is it you're doing, when you have sorted those WH questions. So it will increase your productivity and efficiency. Another importance, it creates mindset shift, yeah, you look at things differently. When you're not self-aware, there's a way that you reason, there's a perspective that you adopt, but when you become self-aware, you wake up to another level of self-awareness. In that, you will realize that I have to do things differently for me to get different results. And because now I know something that I didn't know, yeah, you realize that your mindset gets shifted in a positive manner. Another importance, it will set you up for success. Why? Because remember, you evaluated your beliefs, your standards, even your goals, your ambitions, your aspirations, your weaknesses, and your strengths. So what will happen? It sets you up for success because you know what you want, exactly how you want to get it, with who, if it is a journey that you are walking, because life is a journey, for me to get to my destination, this is the route that I'm going to take. This is the person I'm going to work with. So you set yourself for success in whatever that you are doing. Something else that self-awareness will happen, another importance of self-awareness, and this you mentioned at the start, it will boost your self-esteem. Yeah, just how you feel, the value that you put on yourself, self-esteem. What is the worth? The self-worth. You walk around like someone who, I know my value. You might not see my value. Even if you don't see it, I know I am worth. I know my value. I know who I am. So self-esteem will be improved when you get to that level of self-awareness. Something else, and this is very key, decision-making skills. Yeah, you'll not do things just for the sake of it or just because things are happening. You'll not just sleep and wake up and do something, because you'll get to a point whereby I have to follow particular steps for me to arrive to a good decision, because it gives you direction, remember, and focus. Yeah. So your decision making skills will be improved when you get self-aware. And then something else that is a relative to decision making is better choices. Decisions and choices go together, because every day, every single day, every single minute, every single hour, you are making choices, you are making decisions. So these two go together. And the quality of your choices and the quality of your decisions will depend on the level of your self-awareness. Another importance, you gain more self-control. Yeah. Remember, no Ben, no Ben. Yeah. The things that you will want to do, your body, or rather your emotions, your feelings will want to do, but because you are self-aware, you are able to control yourself better when you understand yourself, when you have that higher level of self-awareness. Another importance is it will connect you to your destiny and to your purpose in life. Yeah. And these are things that are very key, because in this life, you have a purpose and you have a mission that you have come to serve, and you cannot accomplish your mission, yeah, and get to your destiny and fulfill your purpose when you don't know who you are. So as we finish, this is very key. Getting self-aware will connect you to your destiny and to your purpose and to your life mission. For now, those are the importances that we can discuss for this particular topic tonight. And I'll send it back to you, Jennifer, for any input that you have before we come to conclusion.
Yeah, that is brilliant. That is a lot of benefits I can see for self-awareness, and thank you for bringing them up, because I think, as you said, it's very possible to hear this question keep going around. You need to become more self-aware. Everybody talk about self-awareness, learn to become self-aware, but we never know why exactly we need to become self-aware. And I think with all the points that you've brought up, for us to understand why we need to become self-aware, why we need to develop self-awareness, why we need to ask ourselves the questions, the WH questions, and figure out why exactly does it matter that you are self-aware. I think that is a very, very important piece of the conversation that you brought in, that everybody should take very seriously. If you're listening to this, I highly encourage that you take that very seriously and think about why, and you think about why you need to learn to be more self-aware. As Marylin has said, there are very many benefits. It's going to change your life when you become self-aware. And one thing I want to say is that self-awareness is not a destination. You don't wake up one morning and you are completely self-aware. You are woken up and you have gotten an A in self-awareness, and now you no longer need to work on it. Actually, a big marker of self-awareness is realizing just how much work goes into becoming self-aware and how much work you still have ahead of you as you learn self-awareness. It's learning that self-awareness is more of a journey, that every day you are tested in one way or another to prove how self-aware you are, and there's no destination. There's no one day that you can conclusively say that you have become fully self-aware. So it's a continuous journey, because if you listen keenly, there's the part where Marylin spoke about the Johari's window, and there's the hidden self. The hidden self, where we said that nobody, actually the unknown self, where nobody knows you and you don't know yourself. So it's something that is completely hidden, completely covered under the surface. You have no access to it at the moment, but there are several things you can do on a daily basis to unearth those unknown aspects of yourself. And that's why it is a continuous journey, because you'll never be able to unearth everything that is in the unknown aspect of your self-awareness bit when it comes to that Johari window. There's some aspects that you'll never get to unearth. So yeah, thank you, Marylin, for bringing that up. Something I want to also touch on is to remind everybody that with every aspect of the Johari's window, there are several activities you can do to get to know yourself better. So the part where there's the known self, the one that is open and everybody knows you and you know yourself, of course, that is quite obvious that you've already figured that out. But then the aspect where you are, it's hidden, or it's unknown to you, these activities that you can do. And I will be linking, what do you call it? I'll be linking an article in the description box for you to read and understand how you can exercise self-awareness, and how you can exercise the different bits of exercise you can use to make sure that you can learn how to bring up all the things that are hidden about yourself on your self-awareness journey. So check our description box to see some of those resources and to understand how to go about self-awareness as a topic of discussion. Marylin, as you said, as you come to the end, maybe you can share with us a few things that can make it difficult for people to become self-aware, some barriers to self-awareness, if you may. And yeah, because I'm sure somebody is struggling to figure out what could make it that I am unable to become self-aware. Why am I struggling with self-awareness? So maybe what are some of the challenges that people face on their journey to becoming self-aware? I know for one, on my part, I would say denial. We don't want to face the aspects of ourselves that are unpleasant. And we are like, if I know about myself, what does that say about me? What kind of a person does it make me if I am this kind of a person? It requires me to work and to work towards changing. Change is difficult, change is painful, because change goes hand in hand with loss. And sometimes it's even more difficult when it is a loss of identity that you have cultivated over a long time. And so the work of self-awareness becomes very difficult because you're going to lose aspects of yourself that you held dearly. So yeah, that's the first one that I would, that is very obvious and glaring as to why people would struggle with self-awareness. So on your part, what do you think are some challenges to self-awareness?
Thank you, Jennifer, for that input. Like you said, one of the challenges is denial. Yeah, I love Johari's window, and I am praying that we'll get time to explore it in a more conclusive manner. Yeah, because some people know some things, but they have denied those aspects of their life, and that's why those aspects that are denied, they are buried in the hidden window. Yes, they know, but they don't want to bring it up to the open window to deal with it. So denial is number one barrier to getting self-aware. Then number two, there are people who are not open to feedback. Yeah, they are very how do we call it? They are very closed up. You know, what they don't know is you only grow from feedback. And when I say feedback, I mean both ways. Positive feedback makes you feel better. When you tell me, Marylin, you have done a good job, it will make me feel better, and I can only work to make my work better than today because you have reinforced what I did. That is positive feedback. The other side of feedback is negative feedback, and this is very important. I tell people, please, if you are my friend, give me feedback both ways. Give me the positive one, also give me the negative one. Because if you don't give me the negative one, I cannot grow. We only grow from negative feedback. Yes, it can make you feel bad, but once you feel bad, you realize, okay, maybe that's something that I can explore. But if you want to sugarcoat everything because you're my friend, you don't want to make me feel bad, you tell me, oh, things nice, yeah? And we know nobody is an angel, yeah? So every coin has two sides. So whenever you want to give feedback, or rather to receive feedback, it is always good to receive both positive and negative. And for both of them, for any human being who is open to learning, you know that feedback is a very important aspect of learning yourself, yeah? Like you can tell me, oh, you have this mannerism, you do like this and that. Do you know sometimes you feel bad? How can you tell me that? Yeah, that I shout on the phone. But deep down, I realize, okay, that's something I need to work on. So one barrier is having that you having closed yourself to feedback. Yeah, you don't want to receive feedback because you don't want to feel bad. And number three is having a fixed mindset. This is my way, and it is the only way. That is having a fixed mindset. Yeah, you don't want to open up yourself to other ways. Yeah, you want to know, like, if I have to travel from here to town, there's a way. I have to use that same route every single day. You know, I have that fixed mindset. But when I'm open to learning, I will realize, okay, today I can use route number. For example, if I'm going to Kawangware, I can use 46. I can use number 23, and I will get to my destination. So that is being open mindset. And remember, an open mindset is a growth mindset, like we said in our last episode. Yeah. Another barrier will be ignorance, just lack of knowledge. There's someone who has never heard about self-awareness, but when you hear about it and you listen to someone talking about it and you explore more resources about it, you get now to understand, okay, I thought I knew myself. Yeah. Some people come to you, out of nowhere, and they tell you something about yourself. You are very confident. Let's use a positive one for once. And you're like, oh, yeah. And the way I get to freeze when I'm supposed to speak in front of people, but someone comes and tells you, oh, yeah, you are very confident, So sometimes barrier to self-awareness is just ignorance, lack of knowledge. Yeah. But the most important key on self-awareness is feedback. Yeah. Feedback, just that. Whether it is positive or whether it is negative, encourage and embrace feedback from all quarters. Yeah. And then another thing is our perspective, our own perspectives. Yeah. You want to look at everything from one sunglass. And remember, your sunglasses will show you a different world from my sunglasses. If you are wearing a black glasses, you'll see the world that is dark. If I'm wearing sunglasses that are green and I look to the world through my sunglasses, I'll see the world as green. So failure to understand that there are other ways to look at things. I can also look at things from other people's perspective. That can also be a barrier to self-awareness. But in whatever we do, I want to reiterate this. On the 4 windows, the open window, the blind window, the hidden one, and the unknown. In whatever you do, in your process of self-evaluation, your main aim should be to increase the window pane of the open window. That is what you want to increase in whatever you do, whether it is through feedback, whether it is through learning. Remember, there is the unknown. Unknown you don't know and other people don't know. So how are you going to know the unknown? It is through learning, because when I learn something, I know something that I didn't know and other people didn't know about me. You gain insight to something that you didn't know. Other way of experiencing this, of learning this is through experience. I've said it already. People do not want to go through experiences. What they don't know is experiences. Experience is the best teacher. Sometimes experience is what will teach you things that you didn't know. But you see, it is a barrier when someone doesn't want to go through a certain experience. If you have a choice, I would want only to experience the good experiences, the positive ones, but I wouldn't want to go through a setback. But that experience, whether it was a setback or what, it brings you to another level of awareness. So those are some of the barriers that I've come across in my journey of self-awareness. And probably just to conclude, I just want to tell our viewers, our audience this. If you don't know who you are, you can be so sure that the world will tell you who you are. And they are very ready to do that. So which is the better way? To do the self-awareness, to get to know who you are, or to let the world tell you who you are? Because the world can be very mean. Remember that. The world can actually choose to bring you down, and they will tell you the negative aspects of your life. So this is what I tell my audience. Please, if you can, improve your self-awareness so that even when you are in the world, yes, you hear all those voices from other people and the noises that are around you, but because you are self-aware, you are like, even if you tell me that, I know, okay? So when you know who you are and whose you are, you don't negotiate who you are. And that's where now we say you rule your kingdom. Everybody, you have a right to rule your kingdom, rule your queendom. Whether you're a lady, you're a queen. You need to rule your queendom before someone comes to do it on your behalf. But you can only do this from a point of awareness.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, that is brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing all that. And I think that is a wonderful closing remark, a very good place for us to end this live recording today. That if you don't learn to be self-aware, if you do not develop your self-awareness and you don't know who you are, the world will tell you and the world will create an identity for you. And then your job will be reversed. Now you'll have to keep up and meet those goals that the world has set for you. So I highly encourage that all of us check out the resources in the description box that you're going to put there, so that you can learn a lot more about self-awareness. And in future, of course, you're going to be discussing some of these things in detail, so that we know how to develop self-awareness, how to identify who we are, and how to create our individuality and our uniqueness to a degree that sets us apart, and also helps us become better people in the world as we contribute in our day-to-day activities. So with that said, thank you so much, Marylin, for coming through. We're going to be sharing some resources in the description box. Check them out. And we'll see you next week again with another topic of discussion, discussing more stuff about mental health and psychology. If you have any questions specifically for us about mental health, about psychology, about raising kids, Marylin is a child psychologist. You can send them through and we'll answer them in any of our live recordings that happens every week. So yeah, I'll see you next week. We'll see you next week in our next episode. Enjoy yourselves and have a wonderful rest of the week. With that said, thank you, Marylin, again for coming through and for sharing your time and your wisdom. And I can't wait to see you next week as we discuss another topic.
Thank you also. I appreciate. Bye-bye.
Bye, Marylin.